You don't feel worse after scrolling because your life is bad. You feel worse because your brain is being played. And once you understand how, you'll never see social media the same way again. Social media promise connection, confidence, freedom, but instead, anxiety is up, attention is broken, and millions feel strangely empty, even while being constantly entertained. This isn't an accident. This is psychology. And today, we're breaking down what's really happening inside your mind when social media replaces real life. Not opinions, not motivation, actual psychological mechanisms. Let's start with the first one. Point 1, the highlight reel effect. Your brain is terrible at context. When you scroll, you're not comparing your life to one person, that you're comparing it to thousands of carefully edited moments. Psychologists call this upward social comparison. You see vacations without debt, bodies without bad days, success without boredom. But your brain doesn't label these as highlights. The IT treats them as reality. So your normal day starts feeling like failure. Not because it is, but because you're measuring real life against a fantasy collage. And the more you scroll, the more distorted your baseline becomes. Point 2, dopamine without effort. Real life rewards effort. You work, wait, struggle, and then maybe you feel good. Social media flips that. With one swipe, you get novelty, validation, entertainment. That's instant dopamine. Over time, your brain learns something dangerous. Why work hard for satisfaction when it's available instantly? This is called reward system hijacking. And it doesn't make you lazy. That IT makes effort feel pointless. That's why after long scrolling sessions, even simple tasks feel heavy. Your brain isn't tired, it's overstimulated. Point 3, performative identity. Offline, you're someone. Online, you perform someone. Likes, views, comments, shares. These numbers quietly train your identity. You start asking questions you never asked before. Is this postable? Will this get approval? Does this version of me perform better? Psychologists call this external validation dependency. When your sense of worth comes from feedback loops, self-trust erodes. You stop listening inward. You start adjusting outward. And slowly, you become a brand instead of a person. Point 4, the illusion of connection. You've never been more connected and never felt more alone. That's not a coincidence. Online interaction lacks key psychological nutrients: eye contact, touch, shared silence. Your brain evolved for real presence, not constant commentary. So even when you're surrounded by messages, something feels missing, because it is. Digital connection stimulates. Real connection regulates. One excites the nervous system, the other calms it. Scroll long enough, and your body stays in alert mode. That's why rest feels harder now. Point 5, attention fragmentation. Your mind needs depth to feel meaning. Social media trains speed instead. 10 seconds, 0.5 seconds. Next. Your attention never settles long enough to process emotions fully. Psychologists link this to increased anxiety and emotional numbness. Not because you feel too much, but because you never feel anything long enough. Real life becomes boring not because it is boring, but because your brain has been trained to expect constant stimulation. Depth starts feeling uncomfortable. Point 6, algorithmic mirroring. Here's the most unsettling part. Social media doesn't just show you content. IT studies you. What you pause on, what you react to, what triggers emotion. Then it feeds it back to you. This creates psychological echo chambers. Your fears feel bigger. Your beliefs feel more extreme. Your world feels narrower. Not because reality changed, but because your input did. Your perception becomes shaped by what keeps you engaged, not what keeps you healthy. Social media isn't evil, but it is powerful, and anything that powerful needs awareness. The problem isn't that you use it. The problem is using it unconsciously. Real life feels harder now because it doesn't scream for your attention. IT whispers. But meaning lives in those whispers. I am boredom. I am effort. I am presence. The moment you stop letting algorithms define your worth, your pace, and your focus, something shifts. You don't need to quit the digital world. You just need to remember that it isn't real life, and real life is still waiting for you.